Hi guys, it's Loves to Loom here. Today I'm going to be showing you my new Royal Dais bracelet. Dais actually stands for raised platform, and once you see this in person, you'll see that the middle here is actually raised. The name was chosen by my dear friend Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram. So thank you for the name. Also, there is a looping technique that I used to get this swirly effect, and that was done and created, I believe created by Loomy Mama. At least that's the first place I've ever seen it done. And I did that on her Lavore bracelet. The tutorial is on my channel. So I love that effect. I think it is super cool. And I just hope you guys like it. This did take about 225 bands or so for me. Well, that was for the full wrap. It was less for this one. I did 2 full loom lengths to get this one, but it wasn't big enough for my wrist, so yeah, so you may need the 3 loom lengths or longer depending on your size. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. To make this bracelet, you will need to have at least 4 bar pins. I do recommend having 3 loom lengths though, which is 12 bar pins if you want to make a full wrap. So that is what I used on this one. Some may even need to go a little bit longer than that, depending on your size. For the sake of the video, I'm only using 8 bar pins, which is 2 loom lengths, and that is going to create this size. And that's just to save on some filming time. So keep that in mind. The first bands that we're going to start laying is just going to be the very side purple bands here and here. Okay, and obviously these down here. So we'll start by laying 1 band in the center. And I am using my limited edition band, so it is going to be a little more tension than normal, but you can use any kind of bands that you want. Now, for the bands that we're going to lay out to the left and the right, we're going to do a cat band. So you can use your hook or you can do it right on the pin. This is how I do it. I place it on and then I wrap it again, creating a cat band. I do the same thing on this pin, so it's already done. So I put a cat band on both of those, and then I use my hook. I grab the whole entire cat band and I just stretch it over like so. Okay, do the same thing on the left side. Grab the entire cat band, stretch it over, and connect it. Like that. That's just so we get a nice, clean closure. So now all we're going to be doing is laying a single chain up the right and the left side. The laying of the bands for this design is so super easy, like really easy. It's pretty much just a bunch of single chains for the first layer. So I'm just going to go up my right side, laying one after the other. I'm going to do my borders in this like light pink, and then I'm going to do my middle in like a glittery pink. So we'll see how that turns out. Running out of room here. So I'm going to go to the very end of the 2 looms because this bracelet comes out very tight. So when you get to the very last one down here, you're just going to bring it in 1 time to the left like that. Then of course you're going to do the same thing for the left side. Just a single chain. If at all you're laying a band and they feel loose or they feel like they may be fragile, get rid of the band and grab a new one because there is a good amount of tension on this bracelet, so you don't want to take any chance of one of your bands snapping. So I'm very cautious when making this particular bracelet. If anything feels loose or just feels like it's, you know, going to break, which I'm sure people do anyway, but really make sure you do that with this one, because you will be very upset if that band snaps halfway through. Like that one right there. I don't like that one. When you reach the top, bring it in 1 time to the right. like so. So we have our perimeter laid right now. Just get these bands out of here. So now we're going to actually lay some more single chains up the center, or centers, and that is going to be what is the alternating color purple on this one. So these 2 rows right here. So I'm just going to use a glittery pink. Sorry. So we're going to just do the same thing, but going up the centers, or the inner pins. I'm so tired tonight, but I really wanted to get this out because I haven't got any full loom designs out in a while. So hopefully you guys can make it. Super easy. And then you'd come back and do the same thing on the left pin. So obviously you already know what I'm doing because we've done it 3 times. So I'm going to get this last single chain laid and I'll be right back to show you the next layer. Alrighty, so once you have all of your single chains laid, it should look like this. And now we're going to add our very inner bands on, which is going to be the pearl inside on this one. So the bands that we're getting ready to add right now is the band that requires like the most stretch out of all of them. So just keep that in mind when you are choosing the band that you use. And what we're going to do is on these outer pins, we're going to be bringing them in like this on both sides. And then we'll come up to the very next pin and we'll do the same thing. And we'll always be going diagonally into the center. Like that. And of course you can just do one side at a time if you'd like. I'm just trying to do both to save on some time because I've been in a little time crunch lately trying to get some tutorials done. In case anyone is wondering, I'm most certainly not going anywhere. I'm just having a hard time trying to find time to film. It's been very difficult. It's definitely a lot easier if you do just go like this and just do like one side at a time. I don't like the way that one feels. So I don't have that many more to do. I'm just going to go ahead and get them finished up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so this is what it will look like when you reach the top. So I actually need you to come back down to the beginning with your arrows still facing away from you, because I had you lay 2 bands that I should not have had you lay, and that would be the very first 2 bands that we laid of our diagonal bands. So come to the corners and just grab the very top band and just pop it off on each side. So sorry about that. I forgot I made a note that we do not need those. So it should look like that now. So now we're actually going to turn our loom around so the arrows are now facing yourself. And of course you would want to push everything down. So now we need to add a cap band onto this front pin. And that's going to be your border color, or whatever color, you used on the edges. So you're just going to wrap it 2 times. And then I use my hook and I just stretch it to the other pin. Like so. So the beginning is the most trickiest part of this whole bracelet. Once we get past like the first 2 rows, it gets a lot easier. We're going to start by coming in this bottom cap band, grabbing the bottom right top band, and we're going to be stretching that up, not to this one here, but to the 3rd one from the bottom on the left side. So we will be crossing our bands. So coming on the bottom left side, we're going to cross that up to the right. So again, it should be connecting to the 3rd pin, counting from the bottom, like so. So now we're going to come into these bottom pins again in the cap band and grab the top band that's on there now, and you're just going to bring that forward, and it is going to be loose, so just be careful when you attach it. You don't want to lose it. And repeat on the left side. Bring it forward. So this part is a little tricky because it is very crammed in there. So now we need to loop our blue bands again. So we'll be stretching it up to this next one here. So just look for where you connected the last ones. So obviously we're not going there. You go up to the next one. So it's a little bit hard to get in here, and this band is very loose, so you may even want to hold on to that. But make sure you're grabbing the correct band in here. It should be that diagonal band. Be careful because again that is loose. We're going to go work around that pin here. Connect it up there. So we'll repeat that on this one. I'm going to lay mine down so I can hold it. So just make sure you're getting the correct band that's in there. Don't pop that band off. We're going to stretch it up and cross. Like that. So now we'll come up to the next row. You just have to pay attention because it's going to look very cluttered and you need to know which pins you're working on. So clearly these 2 are looped. This is the next one we need to loop, and we will connect it to the next one after the last one that we just did. So make sure you're getting in front of the band. Grab the top diagonal band. We're going to stretch it, cross it up diagonally to the left. And the same thing for this one. We're going to cross this one up to the right. So you can see that this is the last one I looped. So I need to get in front of those and loop this one now. Always starting on the right side. Crossing it up. And up. So I see these are my next row that I need to loop, so I'll go in there. Like I said, once you got past those first couple rows, it's not so cluttered, so it's a lot easier to get in there. And that's what we'll keep doing. And as you can see, I should have said this before, the band is not going like over that pin, it's going around it. So this is what it should be looking like. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of mine looped up. If you have any problems, you can certainly rewind it and watch the previous instructions, and I'll be back in one moment. Alrighty, so I've reached the top of mine. So this is what it should look like once you have reached the top. Remember, we didn't have one on those rows there. So just look closely, make sure yours looks like that. And now we are going to come down to the beginning, and we're going to loop the 2 middle rows. So we're actually going to start not on the very first row here. We're going to start on the second, because remember, we already looped that very first one in the beginning. So we are going to start on this right pin here. We're going to push back anything that's in our way and grab the bottommost band. So grab the very bottom band. We are going to go around this second pin, so pull it to the right, and we're going to connect it to the next one up, like that. So this is what it looks like from the side. Okay, so it's going around that one. So now we have to go to the next pin above this one, which would be this one here. Remember, we didn't connect anything to that one because we connected it there. So we're going to go in that one, grab the very bottom. We're going to do the same thing. So I'm going to go around this pin and connect it up here. See, it's going around it. So we connected it there. You don't want to go in there. You want to come back one more and grab the bottom. So I know it's a little bit tricky. So you have to definitely pay close attention. I'm going to work around this pin and connect it to the one above it. So since I connected it there, you need to come back one pin and grab the bottom band. I'm going to go around this pin, always pulling it to the right, like to the outside. Go around it and connect it up here. If you look from the side, if you ever get confused of where you are, and you look down in there, you can see that there's no bottom band under there. There is a bottom band on this one. So that means I need to start on that one. So you can always just double check there if you get lost and aren't sure which one you should be grabbing. Just make sure you're always going around that next pin that you're pulling from and connecting it to the one after it. This is actually a technique I did for Loomy Mama. And I believe it was the Louver design on my channel. She did this type of looping. And it's so cool. Creates such a very cool and unique effect. I actually think that the layout and the design is very easy to make. It's just kind of hard to explain it, or show it, I should say. But hopefully, guys, you guys think it's easy to pick up, because I feel like when I'm explaining it that I'm making it more difficult than it needs to be, because it's really not that bad. Now, after you just loop that one, which is the third pin from the top, that one connected to the top, you now need to come into the second pin from the top, which is the next one you would have looped anyway. And that one, we're just going to bring forward. Very important that you don't forget that, because if you forget that band going forward, everything's going to fall apart in the end. So make sure you did that. And it should look something like this. Come back to the beginning. And then you'll do the same thing on this side. Except instead of pulling it to the right, we're going to be pulling it and going around on the left. So I'll show you what I mean. Starting on the second row. Go in and grab that bottom band. We're going to pull to the left this time. We're going to skip that pin here. And we're going to connect it to the next one. Go back a pin, go in, grab the bottom band. Pulling it to the left, I'm going to go around that next pin and connect it to the one above it. Going back a pin, grabbing the bottom band. I'm going to skip the next pin and come up to the next one. So it's the same thing, except we're pulling it towards the left instead of to the outer right, like the other side. This side's a little more harder for me to do because I'm right-handed. It's not that bad. So like we did on the opposite side, make sure you come in after you loop the third one from the top. It should connect to the very top one. Come up to the second one from the top. Grab the bottom band and loop that one forward. Make sure you do not forget that one. So this is what it should be looking like. And now we need to do our sides. And we actually do the sides the same way. Look, my loom is like caving in. Just be careful. I'm sorry, it just has so much tension. So we're going to come back down here. And we're going to start on the bottom row here, and we're going to bring one out to the right and the left. And I'm going to start on my right side because that's easier for me. And we're going to loop the right side just like we did this row here. And we're going to do the left side like we did this one here. So we'll be pulling it around the second pin and connecting it to the third one, always going around the outsides. So I'm going to go in this bottom pin here, grab the very bottom band. I'm going to pull it to the right. I'm going to skip this pin here, and I'm going to connect it to that one, making sure you're going around it. Come into the second pin, get inside there, grab the bottom, bring it around the next pin and connect it to the one above it. Go back a pin, grab the bottom band, go around this pin, connect it to the one above it. Come back a pin, grab the bottom, go around that next pin and connect it to the one above it. So we would do that all the way up. So I'm going to go ahead and get this side looped, and I'll be right back in a moment. So I just wanted to do this top part on camera with you. I'm at the third pin from the top. So I'm going to skip this one and connect this to the very top. Then I'll come into the second pin from the top. We're just going to bring that bottom band forward, like so. And now we can actually go ahead in that top one, grab that cap band that's in there, because we double loop that one, and we're going to bring that in like that. So we'll come down and do the same thing, but on the left side. And I know your loom is probably folding in like mine. I don't think it does it as bad with the opaque bands though. So now we will do the same thing for the left side, except we'll be pulling it out to the left instead of to the right. So I'm going to come in the bottom here, grab the bottom band, I'm going to pull it to the left, but I'm going to skip the next pin and connect it to the one above it. Come back a pin, go in, grab the bottom band, we're going to go around the next pin and connect it to the one above it. Come back a pin, do the same thing, grab the bottom, bring it around the next pin and connect it to the one above it. So we'll just keep doing that. So once again, I'm going to go ahead and get this looped up, and I'll be right back. And of course, do not forget that second from the top pin, that bottom band is just going to go forward. And then you can go in that top one and grab your double looped cap band and bring it in. Like so. And this is where we will grab our bottom band in here and attach our C-clip, which I think I lost. Ha, found it. Sorry. Okay, so we are going to go in here and grab the very bottom band. Make sure that you're getting in front of all those bands. Grab a hold of it. You may need to work it out a little bit because there's a lot of tension. I'm going to bring them together and attach our C-clip. So as you can see, my loom is literally flipped in the air. There is very, very much tension on this. You're going to want to grab your hook and start releasing it like this, row by row. Just take your time and be very careful because obviously we don't want anything bad to happen. Alrighty, so when you do take it off of the loom, it's going to be facing the back side because of the way we have to take it off. So all you need to do is just like stretch it out really good. And I use the back of my fingers to push up on it when I'm stretching, just to flip it in the correct direction, which would be on this side. So you are going to need to give it some good stretching to get it nice and clean, like how I have my purple one. But that's all it requires, is just some stretching it out. But I think it looks so cool. Like I still need to stretch out my middle some, as you can see, which I will do off camera. But I think this design is so super cool. I love it so much. I hope you guys like it as well. So to close it up, you just locate the obvious cap band right there with your C-clip, which I'm not going to do because this one is not big enough to fit my wrist. But this is the completed Royal Dais bracelet, and this is my own original design. Again, I did use a technique from Loomy Mama's Loom Bracelet, and the design was named by my good pal Crazy Just Might Work on Instagram. So thank you, lovely ladies. And also, if you do like this design, please hit the like button below. I'd greatly appreciate it. And don't forget to tag me on Instagram at @LovesTheLoom if you make it, because I cannot wait to see some renditions of this. I'm so excited. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you soon at my next video.